Hey everyone, welcome back to Telehouse Tribune, and today we're going to be talking about the infamous Candace Owens. Yes, the woman who took a fall from grace, if you ask me. She used to be a force for good, in my opinion, when she was with the Daily Wire. I think she got fired from the Daily Wire for a good reason. I don't think um, I don't think she is reacting in a way that is good faith to the Charlie Kirk assassination, to Erika Kirk, to TPUSA. I think what she's doing is quite evil, if you ask me. She has a new show called The Bride of Charlie. She's literally obsessed with TPUSA, Charlie Kirk, and his wife, which is kind of disturbing. Watching her do what she's doing is kind of disturbing. I don't mind calling it evil. I don't mind calling out evil when I see it. Her claims about TPUSA and Erika Kirk, there is zero evidence to back any of them up. And today we're going to kind of react to some of the drama that's been going on in regards to Candace. Michael Knowles, the Daily Wire. Michael Knowles is actually Candace Owens, one of her child's godfathers. And we're going to watch Ben Shapiro kind of press Michael Knowles on Candace Owens and kind of what's been going on with that. And let's dive into the video. If you like videos like this, please subscribe. Please like the video. Leave a comment down below. I would really appreciate it. Let's dive in.
Are fun to fight and good to fight, arguments that are worth having, and can, if only, by the way, to show that the other side of it often does not have any willingness to argue or debate or actually deal with any of the ramifications of the things that they're saying, which tells you enough. But I also think that we have to make sure that there's some balance there. You can't only be about the podcast wars, because that's like only watching Bravo for the Real Housewife reunions. Like, it is not the best use of your time or good for your mental health, even if you can talk about it for weeks on end. And so that's the thing that I think we need to just have some perspective on it. But the podcast wars actually are representative at some point of different sides within these arguments that are taking place. I just think that they are.
Are they? Used. That's my question.
Yes.
Are
they? But I think they are often used by the enemies of the right to be much bigger deals than they actually are.
Evil people. But they are when you're going after evil people. When you start to go after people who don't go after evil people, then you have to go after the people who don't go after the people who don't go after the evil people. Then you've got a cancerous situation, and I think it's really damaging.
I agree with that, but I think that there's a difference between doing that and doing an actual defense of the people who are evil, which is a thing that has happened. And attacking people who defend those who are evil is a thing that I think is worthwhile. And as far as sort of the matrix that you're setting up here, Michael, frankly, I think it's a catch-22, because the basic idea that you've set up is that if you say nothing about them, that's because they're very powerful, they're not going away. And also, if you say something about them, it's because they're very powerful and they're not going away.
No, I don't think it's because they're powerful. I also think that's different. Just to clarify my point here, I think that the podcaster wars are not a real political phenomenon. Basically, if you even just looking at the polling, basically all the movement conservative activist base types still support Trump, basically support Vance and Rubio, basically support the same policies. They're a little divided on Iran. And I think that the podcast wars are a meta-political phenomenon about all sorts of crazy things, like aliens and the occult and weird alternative history, and that it basically is just an attention grab for everybody to grab audience, diverging away from the political objective, which is to bring voters together in a coalition.
Well, okay, so here is the problem. Okay, let's be very clear about the problem that has now emerged on the right. There are multiple wings that are sort of arguing for the future of the right. One of those wings is led by people like Tucker and Candace. Okay, that is a reality. And pretending that that is not a reality doesn't make it not.
Really buy it.
I mean, I don't believe that you don't even buy it.
I don't buy it.
I mean, first of all,
think the wings are led by J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, if we're even going to call them wings. I don't think it's the podcast.
We got to get an ejector seat on this guy.
I mean, well, first of all, that's fine. But then it does beg the question as to why the Vice President of the United States keep ushering Tucker Carlson into the White House in quite visible fashion while Tucker Carlson is doing many of the things that he is doing.
The vice president has plenty of friends. Tucker, the idea that Tucker is his only friend, I think, is dishonest.
Has a lot of friends.
And this defense is not. This defense is not going to work for 1 second of one day. It is not going to. When Barack Obama was running for high office, everybody on the right correctly pointed out that his pastor was Jeremiah Wright. Okay, this notion that people's associations, close personal associations, people who help make them vice president, that has no impact on how people see them is obviously untrue. And when we talk about, the sort of growth of particular ideas on the right, pretending that, for example, young Republicans, young conservatives are not being infected with some pretty bad ideas by the people online is ignoring both the poll data and ignoring the actual viewing data of a lot of these folks.
No, I agree about the young activists.
Right, and that makes a pretty big difference. And so the question becomes not just, quote unquote, what is the obviously, listen, I think that there is a purpose to calling out evil where it occurs, because calling out evil where it occurs is a good thing to do on a moral level. And so if Candace Owens decides to slander the widow of Charlie Kirk, I think that people have a moral duty to say that this is a bad thing, even if they are, quote unquote, friends with those people. And I find it an act.
But let's take that further. So obviously one should state one's view and say, Erika's great and attacks on her are not right.
Well, Michael, I'll just ask you straight up. Is Candace Owens doing something evil by attacking Erika Kirk?
I think that it's wrong to attack Erika Kirk.
No, say the sentence with her name in it.
I'm not going to dance like a puppet for the podcast wars.
You don't have to dance like a puppet, but you are dancing pretty quickly. I mean, there's a lot of tap dancing here.
I know, I don't think there's any tap dancing.
Even if you aren't interested in the podcast wars, the podcast
and I
wars
think
are
the
interested
people
in
who are
you.
leading the invective against Candace are her biggest publicists, and I hope
leading
the
invective against Candace. I mean, this I take a little bit of umbrage at. I don't feel that it's invective.
By the way, the word invective just means like a harsh language that is used to criticize somebody.
To say that what she is doing to Erika Kirk is totally demonic.
No, that is invective. It could be justified invective, but it's certainly invective. My point is, when's the last
time you used the term invective to talk about justified invective? Give me a break.
No, of course. The three most famous speeches in Dante are the invectives, and they're totally justified. Invective can be a good thing. My point is just that what is the goal of that? Is the goal to make oneself feel really morally good, to puff oneself up to one's friends and fans, or is the goal to try to reduce, the popularity of some show? Because if it's the latter, it's not working.
No. It's just about stating principles. That's what we're here for. That's our job.
One can easily do that without focusing all of this attention.
We actually cash checks because we state our principles, and this is a real question.
Really.
This is not. I'm totally against calling people out and calling people names. I think it's a bad thing, but I'm not against calling out evil. I mean, Ben's right. This is the basic. It's the basic.
But no one disagrees
bottom
about
line.
That. No one disagrees.
But you don't do it. And I think.
I've made my view on the Erika Kirk thing completely clear.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
but I mean, look. Tucker Carlson is sitting around saying that implying that American soldiers want to rape Iranian women, and that's what Donald Trump meant by
unconditional surrender.
Unconditional surrender. I mean, that's a disgusting thing to say. American soldiers have been the best behaved soldiers on earth in human history, and I just think it's when people say that stuff, something's wrong with them. Something has gone wrong with these people, and it's not the same.
But why would we publicize it? I guess is my question.
We don't need to publicize it. As you said, they're tremendously popular. But the thing about it is, like, if you take someone like Candace, I believe Candace is popular with people who no longer matter. Anybody who's taking what she says seriously on any level is already lost to the light, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with that.
Tucker's a little smarter, although he's starting to go. When you get infested by demons, after a while you're crab walking across the ceiling, cursing at the priest. I mean, that's what happens. That's the trajectory of that. But I mean.
I also think that the hate that Ben Shapiro gets lately, I think it's a little forced. I think Shapiro, this may be a hot take, but I think Shapiro is actually on point a lot more than people want to give him credit for.
Matt Walsh did a whole video debunking many of Candace Owens' claims. Recently said that leaking this recording alleging that this was Erika on a wiretap working for Epstein, which apparently it isn't. And so this is a reader's note added. Seth Dillon said this is true. She can and should sue Candace. I welcome the lawsuit. You malignant piece of ish. She's crashing out on Seth, who's just responding to Matt Walsh, by the way. So she won't clap back at Matt Walsh, but she's crashing out on Seth from Babylon Bee and saying that, she's standing by it and her convictions and all this craziness and challenging people to a debate. He says, by the way, Matt Walsh has debunked you. He went through your mountains of malicious lies and excluded. There's no case here. There's no evidence of anything. These attacks on Erika by Candace, everyone else is wrong, deeply, desperately wrong. And so she's like, you're pathetic for, she thinks she's in high school. This is so cringe. You're pathetic for dragging him into this because you can't fight your own battles. You've always been a weasel in this way. Okay, he's responding to Matt's comments. How is he dragging Matt into this? You're on Matt's thread right now.
Bro.
Matt's opinion does not in any way transform my own. I have not presented a criminal case. Okay, but you've just apparently insinuated. I don't know if she posted this or why is this going around, this Erika thing, right? But why is she responding to this and defending herself? Like, if she didn't post this, which I think she did, why is she defending herself? So you're dealing with a different type of evil here, right? You're dealing with a different type of evil. Lastly, were he interested, I would be willing to debate him on the topic of her as well, because I stand by my convictions and something is obviously wrong with her background and her apparent inability to tell the truth. Okay, so this is who we're dealing with.
Yeah, so Candace Owens has made these ridiculous claims, that TPUSA is in cahoots with the United States government, that they're responsible for getting Charlie killed, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, just these outrageous sort of claims. And Matt Walsh did a whole podcast basically debunking, going through a lot of her claims and just kind of debunking them. And we're gonna react to a little bit of that now too. But yeah, Candace is kind of off the rails. She really is. It's kind of disturbing to watch, to be honest with you. And then you have all these people that are sort of supporting her in doing this, and it's kind of sick. It's actually sick.
Now, I mentioned before how these kinds of conspiracy theories not only draw unsupported conclusions based on irrelevant and sometimes imaginary details, but that the theories actually make less sense of the irrelevant details. And we see that again here. If Erika is a criminal mastermind who's managed to avoid detection for her nefarious plots, and she's in league with the U.S. military and other extremely powerful organizations, then why would she also confess live on primetime television to numerous incriminating details for no reason whatsoever? She didn't have to mention anything about the wedding ring, which, by the way, many men do take off at night. She didn't have to mention anything about the bed that Charlie slept in or the toddler waking up.
Yeah. Apparently she had, there was a story about how Charlie had took his wedding ring off before he went to sleep and went to go sleep in his daughter's room with his daughter before an event. And apparently she called that weird, and that meant that there were issues going on or something. She's just making all these crazy, ridiculous claims.
But Erika slipped up apparently and revealed all of these incriminating details because in all her sinister planning, she couldn't think of a good cover story. Now, if Erika is hiding some sinister truth, none of that makes sense. She would be doing the opposite of what she's actually doing in real life. Continuing.
I also want to add this little tidbit. Erika is, as you're going to see, exceedingly uncomfortable discussing Charlie's final day. Fox News had to use a lot of cuts. Now that I'm telling you that and you watch, you're going to go, oh yeah, they're cutting and kind of like putting her answer in a different place, very obviously and poorly edited out entire portions when Jesse asks her a fairly simple question. Tell me about the day before the shooting. That would be Charlie's last full day on Earth.
So Erika is exceedingly uncomfortable describing Charlie's final day. Well, that again makes perfect sense to me. She's uncomfortable describing the last day that her husband was alive on this planet. I think I would be too, in her shoes. And this is another common theme. Things that are perfectly understandable and normal are recast as ominous and bizarre. For example, Erika has frequently been criticized for not announcing the exact location of her husband's burial site. And the implication, again, is that she's hiding some dark secret. But the much more reasonable and plausible and totally understandable explanation is that she doesn't want leftists showing up and defacing her husband's grave, which we all know they would do. And she doesn't want random deranged people showing up and trying to exhume his body so that they can conduct their own unofficial forensic analysis, which would also probably happen. So again, we have no evidence of any crime at all, least of all the crime of conspiring to kill her husband. But by far, the number one piece of evidence against Erika, the thing that really got the conspiracy theories rolling, and which fuels them even now, is the same thing that put the Sandy Hook parents in the crosshairs. It is Erika's general demeanor in public, her facial expressions, what she wears. It's definitely not just Candace drawing sinister conclusions based on Erika's wardrobe and body language. It's all over the internet. It's all over the place. The Daily Mail even published this headline this week. As Erika Kirk finally comes out of hiding at the State of the Union, shock new expose plagues giggling widow who can't shake questions over her tears and those leather pants. Now, it's strange that Erika is accused of being in hiding. She's also accused of being too public, too hungry for the spotlight. So somehow she's guilty of being too visible and not visible enough at the exact same time. I've never seen anyone in my life who has been put in such a morbidly absurd lose-lose situation. If Erika laughs, she's criticized for not crying. If she cries, her tears are fake. If she's
Yeah, the people who defend Candace there's something wrong with them. There really is, if you ask me.
out in public, she should be home grieving. If she's home grieving, she should stop hiding and come out in the public. If she laughs, she's a cruel, unfeeling psychopath. If she frowns, she's an icy, scheming villain. Literally, no matter what this woman does, no matter what she says, how she looks, what facial expression she displays, it is used as evidence against her. Look at this tweet from the news outlet RT. It says, Erika Kirk's State of the Union demeanor goes viral. Commenters on social media argued Charlie Kirk's widow was acting weird, fake, and performative at the State of the Union address. Do you spot anything? And you can see the video there. Well, the answer is no. I don't spot anything strange. She's just sitting there. What do you want her to do? At some point, she looks like she's getting emotional. At other points, she smiles in response to something Trump says from the podium. She looks up, she looks down. What do you want? What is the precise facial expression that Erika Kirk is supposed to have? Maybe one of her critics can show us. Go ahead and prescribe for Erika exactly what her face is supposed to look like at all times. This is completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at the point now where Erika's facial expressions are being judged on a second-by-second basis. People are parsing the slightest move of an eyebrow and looking for evidence of something sinister. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that nobody in history has ever been subjected to this intense level of scrutiny, so much that they literally can't smile or use a tissue without 10,000 people on the internet attacking them in the most ruthless and uncharitable terms possible. I've never seen anything like it. If you have, let me know. Now, I've heard it argued by Candace and many others that Erika has put herself in line for this level of scrutiny by assuming the role of CEO. Now, I'm not sure why a person becoming CEO of an organization inherently justifies ripping their life apart. I'm not aware of any other CEO who's ever been subjected to anything like this. It seems more that her becoming CEO offers a pretense for the criticism, not a necessary reason for it. And in any case, even if becoming CEO makes her a candidate for increased scrutiny, what it doesn't do is lower the evidentiary bar for everybody else before accusing her of nefarious crimes or implying that she's guilty of them. Her becoming CEO does not give anyone moral license to make wild and defamatory speculations about her. And anyway, her decision to become CEO is not surprising. It certainly is not scandalous.
Yep.
Wanting to keep a man's life work in the family to preserve his legacy is an understandable instinct, and by the way, a very conservative one. Now, as to her behavior, I personally don't think that she's been acting strange at all. But if you do, then here's your explanation. Not that Erika owes you one. Any human being under that much scrutiny, in a situation this traumatic and terrible, would behave strangely. Indeed, I don't even know what a normal reaction would be. This is not a normal circumstance. We have no frame of reference for it. Our only frame of reference is how private people mourning much less public deaths behave. And even based on that comparison, a comparison which is not entirely fair to Erika, still her behavior is wholly understandable. Grieving people often laugh, they smile. Other times they're crying. They try to compartmentalize their grief and carry on hiding their trauma as best they can. Yeah. That's what Erika is clearly doing. And she's doing it while trying her best to carry on her husband's legacy and life's work, which is what she feels called to do. Again, that is not difficult for a reasonable person to understand. But all of this is irrelevant. Even if you don't like how she acts, the pants she wears, her facial expressions, anything else. You have no actual evidence-based reason to think that she is guilty of committing any crime. And if she isn't guilty of a crime, then all you're doing is nitpicking a widow, which is every bit like critiquing the color of somebody's nail polish while you watch them drown in the ocean and make no attempt to help. Yes, maybe she made an odd choice of nail polish that day. She's also drowning.
Yep.
And that would seem to be the more salient fact. And it's interesting to me to note that Tyler Robinson is not subjected to even a fraction of the public scrutiny, even though all of the evidence,
all of it,
literally all of the evidence,
all of it,
points to him.
Yep.
There is no evidence connecting Erika to the crime. All of it. All of the evidence we do have, every bit of it connects Tyler Robinson to it. And yet, for some reason, he's not the subject of public scorn.
That's right.
Instead, it all goes to the widow of the man he killed. So I've laid out over these past 45 minutes or so the argument.
Thank you for watching today's video. If you want to leave a like, leave a comment, I would really appreciate it. I'll keep you up to date with the Candace Owens situation. I'll be doing a lot more stuff on intelligent design and sort of cultural issues. So I appreciate you watching the video. If you made it this far, like I said, leave a comment below. I want to hear from you. I'll see you on the next one.